So everything worked this weekend. Everything worked excellent. It was phenomenal. Yeah, phenomenal. So I just got editing. I just got done editing video number 2. It's uploading right now. It's taking a while. It's like an 18-minute video from last Friday, which was the 19th. And it was a last-minute trail thing. I had no plan, so I figured Thursday, man, just load up, let's get out of here. So that's what I did. So I had some comments on there about invites. I go, hey, this is a last minute deal, man. Get up and go. I posted the video before I left. I left some comments on Facebook telling people where I was going to be. Okay, what do you want, a letter in the mail? A formal invite? So anyway, so we ended up doing Mengel Pass. This is another last minute detour. I just happened to run into some guys out there in a Jeep. They rented a Jeep out in Furnace Creek and they were going to go attempt Mengel Pass. They weren't sure. They'd never been there before. They were in a rental Jeep. So I met them at Warm Springs and we were discussing it. And I go, well, I've never been there either, but you guys want to check it out? Let's go. We'll go together, right? Be safe. So everything worked out good. But now that I know the trail, I want to see who wants to go tag along. Here's your invite. We'd probably start off the opposite direction out in around Trona. If you know where Trona is off 395. Trona and Ballarat. Okay, we're out there in between there. So that was my first time out there, and by the time we got to Wingate Road, which runs out there in the valley to Ballarat, it was already dark. I had no idea where I was at. So I was just going by the GPS, shows a line in the middle of nowhere, right, to Ballarat. And I got to Ballarat and I still don't know where I was. Looking around, man, it's dark out there. I was kept on going to the 190, got the 190, ended up going all the way back to Lone Pine, where I fueled up, and it was already 11 o'clock. I figured, man, I'm just going to head on home. I'm not going to find a campsite at night, at midnight, driving around, looking for some place. I was ready to camp, but it didn't work out. So who wants to do Mengel Pass? I mean, it can be done in a day, but it's nice to go like on Saturday, drive over the mountain. You're out going over the Panamint Mountains, Panamint Range, and we'll end up out in Badwater. And even from there, it's a drive back to Baker. But it's a nice drive through the Panamints there. It's awesome. I had no issues on my truck other than one spot where something bottomed on, and I still don't see any marks except on the hitch, the trailer hitch. But I also hit something in the front, but I must have just hit the skid plate just right. And I didn't skid, I just kind of like hit it, bang. And in the rear, same thing, the hitch bounced on the rock or something. Other than that, very doable. I mean, the guys had a rental Jeep, had sway bars on it. It was a Rubicon. He did have to lock the lockers once on one little section, but I had no issue. The auto locker must be working on this thing really good. I mean, it works really good. Another thing on this truck, the throttle response is really slow. Okay? But when you're doing technical driving, that's a plus. Especially when you're going over rocks and stuff. It's not real whoa, herky-jerky. You can give it gas and it goes. Perfect. Where on the Bronco, I usually have to drive with 1 foot on the brake and 1 foot on the gas. And kind of feather. I was impressed. You just got to get used to that lag. There's a lag where you can give it the gas and then it goes. And, you know, you got to be there. It's something you got to, it's a learning experience there. So, yeah, so keep that in mind. I wouldn't mind going next weekend, but I don't know. I'd like to post a meetup. So I'm going to look into that. Then isn't there another holiday coming up? So I don't know what people's plans are. It's getting hotter out there now. It was 102 in Badwater, where I started from. The guys in the Jeep said it was hotter than that. And they started from the opposite end of West Side Road. I was on one end, they started on the other end. I met them at Warm Springs Road. So then when we got up in the mountains, it was like 74 degrees. It was perfect. We just need to start sooner because I think we met up about noon. And it took us the rest of the day to go up the mountain, stop, sightsee and all that, all the way back down the other side. And by the time we got out, it was dark already. By the time we got to Wingate Road. Which really sucks when you don't know where you're at and you've never been someplace before because you don't see nothing. I don't care how many lights you got in your vehicle or GPS. You don't see nothing but in front of you. It's like you don't see a highway, lights of the city. It's like, where am I going? My GPS just shows a little line. Now if I back it out, the line disappears, but it shows the highway, and the highway's way out. I'm like, okay, now where am I at? I disappeared on the GPS. Then you can zoom back in, and it comes back. Okay, there I am. But in relationship to a town or the main highway, to top that off, I'd been driving all day and I was tired, so I was like, it's a long drive home after that. I got home about, let's see, I was in Big Pine at 11 o'clock trying to get something to eat and everything was closed. So I just refueled and aired up my tires and headed on home. Got home about 2:30 a.m. So guys, keep that in mind. Leave some comments. Who wants to go try Mengel Pass? The geologist cabin, the Barker Ranch. There was a couple other cabins out there that we missed. They're out there by the geologist cabin. And then there was a couple of mines out there that we could have drove back up into, I mean not into, but up the mountain to. I was looking at the satellite images and I'm like, oh man, we just didn't have the time. I missed a lot of video shots because I didn't have the time. We were trying to get back down the mountain and these guys had to get their Jeep back and it was getting dark. So next time, I'm ready. Who's ready? Who's ready? Are you ready?